first.
Hello and welcome everyone to the first round of Club 100 action that we are going to be able to broadcast for you this season. It is great to be back on your screens, folks. It is a bit of a new era, isn't it? We've got a new logo, we've got a lovely new set of fresh stickers on the carts, we've got some fresh faces in the paddock here at a new venue as well. It is great to be back. I am Reeve Taylor, alongside me is Mr. Jacob Harris as he inspects his new commentary headshot there. How are you doing, Jacob?
I'm alright. There's a few technical issues. You might have heard my voice at the start of this stream and wondered why I suddenly lived perfectly. I think I'm more sorted now. And yes, there I am in the flesh in front of you on your screens. Noticeably bigger than you are there, Reeve.
That is true in real life.
Taller in real life. I wouldn't say I'm that much more of a presence.
But we are here at this new track anyway. 1,300 metres, 18 turns. It's a big one, is the new Silverstone kart facility. But one of the few anti-clockwise tracks that we visit here in the UK. In fact, for Club 100, it's pretty much the only one as far as we can make out. Certainly the first time that we have. So there's a new little tidbit for you as well. Drivers are currently out in practice on this rather grey and gloomy day, as you can see there. It's going to be overcast all day, maybe a few smatterings of rain here or there. Not too much in the way of wind and pretty cold temperatures as well, so perhaps not ideal conditions, but as we'll get onto, I am sure, during qualifying, there's no real wet line or dry line at the moment, is there? Because there's not much rubber on this track at all. Brand new facility, really pleased to be here. There's some great facilities here so far, and it's always a good day when you're here at Silverstone, isn't it?
Yes, this shot you can see here, you've got the Brooklands building bang in the middle of your picture, the main grandstand over to the left-hand side as well. We are right in the middle of the main Silverstone track, and indeed you can see right at the top of your picture, it's kind of around the middle of your picture there, but at the top of the track you can see a car going around the main Silverstone circuit, around that right-hander by there behind these junior lightweights who are out for the last practice session of the day. We will shortly be bringing you qualifying. Of course, the cadet super lightweights currently hold the lap record right here, and I believe we're going to see our lap record holder in this session, given he was in session A. Senna K. Panna should be out there, the Silverstone lap record holder.
He should be indeed. Already a title that bears some impressive weight behind it, doesn't it? It's a big one as well. The driver going to be fighting for today as well. Obviously starting the season off with a good round one. Now the cadet super lightweights in Group A, their best time from Jack Thompson at 1:31.244. So we're at least looking to match that, if not improve upon it. A quick reminder that in qualifying groups there is no kind of previous results or time-based application of who gets put into which order. It's all just done based on random allocation before they will set their times and head out into the racing after the lunch break this afternoon. So we are still waiting for our quick times to come in. I am noticing the cadets seem to be bunching up together a little bit more, seem to be keeping each other company out on track. They have got plenty of track. They might want to think about spreading out into it, but even with that, so much room to play with here at Silverstone, and then even more so that looks like it's at turn 10 there actually, that drivers should be able to get some decent lap times in regardless. There will be some wave yellows there while that driver is assisted in getting back out on track, just having a little bit of a skirmish off at the Priory, and that's what you expect heading into these early qualifying sessions. These are going to be some of the fastest laps of the day, weather not permitting. So drivers are going to be trying to find their limit, the kart's limit, and the limit of grip in these conditions as well. But we do have our drivers now heading around to set our first times in just a moment. And I'm just going to give another quick shout out to everyone watching. Over 300 of you watching along so far live. So really impressive numbers. Thank you very much, folks. If you've got anyone else you think might be interested in the world of Club 100 karting or just British karting in general, as we do enter an important and exciting new era here in Silverstone for international karting and British karting plenty, then do get your friends, family, anyone who might be interested to tune in and show the support for the drivers. 7 minutes left on the clock in this one. Let's see what we are looking in terms of results so far. I have the right screen up on my laptop, but here we go. We have Senna Cosrapana on the current provisional pole time with a 1:32.8, and that is perhaps to be expected given their time and impressive status as lap record holder here at Silverstone so far. Freya Lally is just behind overall. We did see 131s, 132s in the previous Cadet Super Lightweight running, so I imagine we're going to see something broadly similar here as well. In terms of rookies in this session then, let's have a look at who we have got. Joshua Adams, Harrison Freeman, Oscar Watson, then we have Mason McKenzie, Alfie Elson, Leo Smith, Archie Beswick and Jin Ying as well. So a big hello to all of you for getting involved in the Club 100 action. We've got a couple of co-warnings pouring in. We haven't talked too much. We don't want to immediately always delve into penalty chat, but we haven't needed to so far. So well done to everyone so far. We'll try to hopefully keep it this way.
Yes, there's a couple to mention. So receiving a penalty in qualifying will mean that you drop down some positions in the overall order. Notably, our, former top of the timing sheets, Senna Cosrapana, otherwise known as Senna K-Pana, for those of you who watched this series last year, and for those of you who heard us talking about the lap record holder, Senna has a ABC takeout penalty, which is ABC stands for advantage by contact. So you have an ABC takeout, ABC BAP, which is a bump and pass, BAP. And Senna has one of those already, as does Nathan Gretsch, a BAP Nathan Gretsch takeout for Senna. But Sam Fleming has jumped to the top of the timings here with a 1:31.58, which is an astonishing time from Sam. So well done to Sam. Mohamed Isubada is doing pretty well as well. Third, another returnee to this championship from last year, as is Freya Lally, who has come fourth in the number 7 plate. Freya last year, I want to say, did indeed finish 7th. That's Freya has been that number. Mohamed Subada finished 12th, but somehow Senna has got the number 12 plate. But yeah, Freya has kept the 7. I think probably up to 10. I think the way they used to do it, seniors in Club 100 was the top 10 get up. There. Might be the reason why we don't see, for example, the number 1 plate, because that belongs to James Underhill, who has moved up a weight class.
As indeed, and this is looking like we could be on for the closest competition we've had so far in qualifying. Still a little bit of a time delta, but within 0.4 of a second. Sam Fleming leads the charge just behind a couple of other drivers, and it actually slightly further up the road, heading through bridge at the moment, is Senna K-Pana. Right, so we've got a bit of overtaking action going on here in qualifying.
Side by side, at the very least. So let's run through should we run through the corners again, Reeve, just so that ourselves and the viewers get a decent idea of what's going on. That's turn 10, looking at there, Priory. So that shot is going to hopefully become familiar to everyone. And then this, I believe, is 11 of Club. Slight left-hander then is Ireland, and then you head into Tower. This is 14 of Seagrave, a right-hander, a left-hander then Siemens, and I want to say that's the final corner read. It is indeed. That's 17 off Museum, and then Farm Curve takes you around onto the pit straight.
It does indeed. You can see the start of that final corner there. It brings you onto the start-finish straight. Pointed out quite nicely by the tram lines heading down grid. Drivers, as we head into the racing this afternoon, will need to form up in 2 distinct files where they'll need to stay within those tram lines on race start before they get underway racing. If they break formation there, they will be noted by the stewards and have potentially, not immediately a bit of re-education, but we'll just be, we'll be informed of a slight mishap with the regulations there. So drivers need to make sure that they start the races by heading down those tram lines before we head into turn 1 and go racing. That's just to make sure that we all get a nice, fair and equal start to the racing. But not long to go left in this one now. Just 2 minutes left on the clock. Sam Fleming still leads us, but it is getting closer. Senna K-Pana at 1:31.3. These two are notably clear of anyone else out on track. Senna just heading through the Seagrave right-hander at the moment. Up in front is the number 25 of... That is going to be the number 25, I know you said, of Freya Lally then, so I've got that completely wrong. That is the number 25 of Mohamed Issa Subadar, and then also Freya Lally is the driver up in front. But Mohamed Issa Subadar, speaking of, up into third, and Senna K-Pana takes the new fastest lap of the session so far to 1:30.869. Found half a second on Sam Fleming in the end. We could be in for a bit of a progression in terms of times here, folks, as maybe the rain's been holding off for a little while now, so the track could be getting ever so slightly faster. Sam Fleming, there we go, 1:30.6, finds 2/10 on Senna this time around. We're going to have a little bit of a breather while our front runners head round towards the end of the track again, but don't think for a second that means that a few more drivers aren't going to start challenging for that pole position.
This is great stuff from Sam Fleming. A rookie last year, only did 2 rounds of the Northern Championship, and certainly wasn't mixing it at the front. Yeah, I'm sure he won't mind me saying the best result was a 7th overall, followed by a 12th. So to be at the top of the timings is going to be really pleasing for Sam. We see him now. Is that coming around the final corner? No, that's number 10, isn't it? That's Priory, I think. Still trying to get used to what we're seeing on screen. They could do with labelling them, couldn't they? A little white paint on the exit. That'd be excellent. But no, Sam doing an excellent job so far, and really building on those first couple of rounds where he was learning the karts last year. So excellent work from Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what it looks like now as the time is about to hit 0. The checkered flag has been waved on this session. These are going to be the last 2 attempts coming to a close for these drivers now. We've got improvements from Shane Risan, and then we have Gillen Townsend as well improving. But it looks like no major change at the top end of the order so far. Sam Fleming does cross the line, so 1:31 that time around. Doesn't need to improve upon what else he has done though, because it's looking good so far. Senna K-Pana, next driver to come across the line. Mohamed Issa Subadar not too far behind as well. Senna completes the lap there. And that is a no improvement for Senna this time around. We have just a couple more drivers to bring an end to this qualifying session, but it's looking pretty good if you're Sam Fleming.
Just Mohamed Issa Subadar, Freya Lally from the top 10 to come around. Can either of them improve on their times? I think they are just coming through the middle complex now. Yeah, if I look at the window, I can see actually a couple of them coming around the final section. Let's have a look if there's any major movement in that top 10. In fact, yeah, just the 2 of them now to go. They are rounding the last corner, if my timing screen is correct. There's Freya Lally, doesn't manage to improve on 6th, and Mohamed Issa Subadar stays 3rd. So that's Sam Fleming, Senna Koshapana, Mohamed Issa Subadar, Jalen Srikatan, Gillen Townsend, Freya Lally, Nathan Gretsch, Ryan Hamlet, Chloe Van Beneden, and Joe Fleming, the top 10.
Here we go then, your Cadet Super Lightweight Pre-A finalists are already out on track, so I think we're going to be pretty quick to get this one underway. So let's take a look at that grid then. We'll try and get a full grid in this time around. And let's see, so Cadet Super Lightweight Pre-A finalists, we're looking out for the likes of Sam Fleming and Jack Thompson, Mohamed Issa Subadar, and Shilan Srikantan should be in this one.
We've got a couple of minutes, so we'll take you through at a nice leisurely pace now as they make their way around for this one. Starting indeed on the front row, as you correctly pointed out, Ray, Sam Fleming and Jack Thompson, Mohamed Issa Subadar and Shailen Srikatan are on row 2. Gillen Townsend is 5th with Freya Lally in 6th. 7th will be Amanzi Nwazu. Senna, formerly known as K-Pana, now known as Khosrow Pana, is in 8th, a former lap record holder. Kiri. Jess Kirby and Jack Mills are on row 5 with Ryan Hamlet and Chloe Van der Beneden. in 12th. Nathan Gretsch is 13th, Jensen Goodall 14th. Joe Fleming and Jack Dowding are row 8. Leo Smith and Alicia Waterhouse are row 9. Hugo McMillan and Ed Sibley are our repechagees from the B final. And we are underway racing for the Cadet Super Lightweight Pre-A final. Good start from the front of the grid. Sam Fleming leads, but he's taken to the outside and slamming up the inside. I think that's Gillen Townsend actually making his way to the front here. It's anyone's game as they all try and get through. That is the 39, isn't it? That's Gillen Townsend, or Townshend, I should say. There's a H in there. Apologies. But great start from 5th on the grid, and through Maggots and Beckett, already got a pretty decent advantage.
Has indeed already. Your top two who are going to be fighting, I was about to say for the repechage positions, but they're already in the A finals now, so not in this one. They're just looking to secure their podium for the time being. 20 carts navigating their way through 10 more minutes of racing for our cadet super lightweights. And here we go, see the number 12 there under a little bit of a threat. That's Senna K. Panna potentially under threat from Ryan Hamlet there, but able to fend that off for the time being. With 10 minutes left to go in this one, we can see Hamad Issa Subadar in the mix there as well.
A little bit of contact there going through Seagrave, but all still facing in the right direction. Yeah, what a great start from Gillen as he comes round now to start lap 2. Kind of imagine this going much better, and a really good start to this season if you can hold on at the front there. Amanzi Nwazu's made a great start as well from 7th on the grid. Then we've got Shailen Srikantan in 3rd. It's completely flipped the order realistically at the front there. Mohamed Issa Subadar down 1 place, but still a very respectable 4th. It's going to take me a while to get used to Senna's full name, and I might just have to refer to him as Senna before I abbreviate his name as we had it on the system last year.
It's a good name to be referred to as, isn't it?
Khosrapana, though, is quite a nice surname.
It is,
well.
yeah.
I didn't realise that we had such a good surname just waiting in the wings for us. Here we go, though. Let's have a look what's happening out on track rather than on the timing screen, as this 30 of Jess Kirby up into 6th. Good start from Jess from 9th on the grid. Surely not everyone can have made up positions on the grid. I feel like everyone I mentioned has made up 4 places on the grid.
Yeah, I think what's happened is we've had a few movers who have maybe tumbled down a little bit more than they would have wanted. So we've had a few big movers down, which has allowed a lot of people to just slowly progress the way up on through. As Gillen Townsend starts the next lap in good form with a briefly fastest lap. Obviously, we're still early days in this race. Manzi Nwosu, though, takes that trophy from anyone else around them, currently running along in 2nd and closing up that gap to P1.
Yeah, as you can see, sun is out.
Oh,
it's a nice, bright, shiny day here. There's still patches of damp on the track. You can see in this shot, really, the differences, and indeed in this shot, the differences in the tarmac. So we're still not full dry running here, but then you look at Maggots and Beckett's and you think, yeah, that's almost bone dry. But yeah, certainly patches around the track. That's going to bring the temperature of the tyres down, these slick tyres that we race on, and hopefully when the patches dry up we'll be going even faster. With the sun beating down out like that, you can't imagine it'll be too long before we're fully dry racing.
It would be, and it almost, the conditions are starting to look so nice that actually, you know what, we see the number 15 of Nathan Gretsch under pressure there, but holding off that charge well. Took a nice defensive line. That's against Mohamed Issa Subadar. Freya Lally in the mix there, as well as they take a slightly tighter line. Mohamed Issa Subadar with a great run. Still side by side, actually, we head through turn 15. Still not settled. We're going to run down towards the farm curve in just a moment. Time being lost there, though, for the number 15 cart.
Around we come in front of them. It's Srikantan who's in the lead of this one in the green helmet. Almost glaring that sun now coming down into turn 1. At the front, Amanzi Nwosu is looking for a race win here. Currently got the fastest lap, took 4/10 out of Gillen Townsend's lead on that last lap, as we see the 15 of Nathan Gretsch moving up into 5th place here, leading down into Bridge. There's that battle at the front. It's quite close, not quite as close as this battle for 5th now, as I think Srikantan has made it back into 5th, and yes, points forward to say we need to get catching up to Jess Kirby. He's doing a great job in 4th from 9th on the grid. Senna Crosby is in 3rd as well. Those guys are pulling away from this battle here as they kind of go side by side there through that complex of corners that involves Island and Tower. Into Seagrave they come. A left-hander is Seaman next. It's all chopping. I can't keep up with this one, Reeve.
Jack Thompson just had a really good run as they ran through turn 15 there and ends up at the head of this pack. But as you say, it's going to keep chopping and changing. Senna Caipana, or Cosrapana, apologies, heads through onto the next lap with a 1:19.6, so flying along at the moment. Jack Thompson makes a position, as does Nathan Gretsch, as does Freya Lally, but check it again in another lap, and I think it would have changed once more. We navigate through the first couple of corners, and we still see we're almost looking single file for this pack, but they are going to continue on.
Yeah, the top 3 looking exactly what you want. They all traded fastest lap then. Gillen Townsend put in the fastest lap, then Amanzi Nwozu put in the fastest lap, and then Senna Cosrapana put in the fastest lap. All 3 of them in succession, closing in. There's a second and, well, just under 2 seconds, I should say, covering all 3 of them. Soon they'll be as close together, if that carries on, as the pack that we're watching here, which is the pack right behind them. Jess Kirby, Nathan Gretsch. Yeah, you can see Jess there's got a little bit of an advantage in the 30 car, the red suit, as they come round Tower and Island once more into Seagrave. They're not quite as feisty as they were on the last lap. Perhaps they have quietly understood between them that they need to focus on catching up to the lead in group. And here they are. Senna Cosrapana then up into 2nd place and looking for 1st as well. To the inside of the first corner. Ooh, a little bit of contact there with Townsend. Holds on to the lead. Cosrapana's got the fastest lap on that last race. And here they come then, Reeve. This top 3 into Maggots and Beckett. What have they got to offer us?
We'll just have to wait and see. Senna Cosrapana has a look, goes for the inside there, the track almost falls to him. Fantastic little run there, but there we go. From 3rd into 2nd. Is it going to be settled yet, though? I don't quite think so. Gillen Townsend now drops back to 3rd. Amanze Nwosu's fancying the chances at taking the lead in this one. 3.5 minutes to go. This battling trio certainly not settled yet. Through turn 10 we go. Mud on the track doesn't faze them. They in fact all 3 take a nice run on the corner exit there as Manze Nwosu's trying to hunt down Senna Caipana now. Through the mid part of the lap we go up towards turn 14 in just a moment, and things settle for just the moment. The left-hander approaches next. All drivers just getting oh so close to that apex, not wanting to ride up on that curb, but who knows, it could still be low grip there, especially compared to what the tarmac is now looking like, which is full dry running at that part of the track. We head on to the start finish straight to start the next lap, and we are being led by Senna Cosrapana, Manze Nwosu in 2nd, and Gillen Townsend drops back to 3rd. Now in the background there we can see, folks, we're just under 3 minutes. Jess Kirby's running along in 4th. We follow along with her through the first couple of corners. Jess Kirby may just be laying in waiting here while the top 3 trio battle it out and maybe take a bit of time off each other. Jess Kirby is just banging in some really fast laps and just running along in the 19s.
Yeah, there's 2.5 minutes left, Reeve. If Amanzi can get close to Senna here,
yeah,
he's going to have a go. And if he has a go, they're going to fight. And if they're going to fight, Jess Kirby could still well be involved in the conversation for race win in this Pre-A final. Still probably 3 laps, including this one, at least to go, and Jess can see them in the distance there and knows that if she keeps putting in the consistent lap times, there could be a podium in this. It's still raging behind with Nathan Gretsch and Shailen Srikatan, Jack Thompson, our pole sitter, Freya Lally's involved there, Mohamed Issa Subadar, and Sam Fleming. Sorry, Sam Fleming was our pole sitter. Jack Thompson was a front row occupier in 2nd place. Bit of a gap now between these front 3. It seems like Senna has settled into the race lead. We will get this lap and one more after it, I believe, if I'm judging the timing correctly. Amanze Nwosu won't have given up on this race win just yet. Gillen Townsend will fancy a crack at taking it back as well. But yeah, a little bit spaced out now as we go up on into Brooklands and through Maggots and Beckett's for what I think will be the penultimate time.
It should indeed be. As you say, these drivers now start to settle in to their respective positions, which is probably the sensible option at this point. You don't want to go for anything brash, anything bold or brave late on into the race, because you've done so much work. Everyone in the top three, everyone in the top five is going to be in for some really good points here in this pre-A final, so why try and chuck it away for the sake of a position here or there? Now, that's me looking at things as a police reporter, no longer active racing driver. No, never really consider himself a racing driver anyway at all in any shape or form, but I'm sure an actual racer is probably thinking about taking those positions anyway. Either way, as we say, penultimate time around, Senna Khosrowpanna leads us running through turn 16, turn 17 and turn 18 at the moment. Through the museum we go and onto the farm curve, and the last lap commences with Senna Khosrowpanna leading Amanze Nwosu, Gillen Townsend just behind.
Yeah, this is going to be great results for most of these drivers. Senna was in the South Championships last year, I believe, and I haven't quite got a measure on what the results were like in that. But Gillen Townsend did one round of North last year, best result of a 5th, so we'll surely be happy with the podium here. Amanze Nwosu did the first 3 rounds of North and only managed a 4th, so both of those appearing on the North podium for the first time. Jess Kirby as well will be super happy with a 4th, I'm sure. Just checking, and I think that'll be her best result. It will. In fact, last time out in the actual A final was 5th, so a 4th is a step in the right direction for Jess. Coming around then, Ireland and Tower for the final time, and into Seagrave. Senna Khosrowpanna rounds Seaman for the last time. Just one major braking zone to go. That'll be Museum. This left-hander brings him out onto Farm Curve, and the start-finish straight. Senna Khosrowpanna then wins the pre-A final. Looks very pleased with himself. Amanze Nwosu follows home in second, looks equally chuffed, and third goes to Gillen Townsend. Jess Kirby will finish 4th in this one, and then the battle for 5th, I think is going to be won indeed by Shaylin Srikatan. Nathan Gretsch will come home in 6th, Freya Lally 7th, Jack Thompson 8th, Mohamed Issa Subadar 9th, and Sam Fleming, your top 10 for this pre-A final. These guys will all be back later on for the A final. But what a fantastic start to super lightweight cadet racing we've had.
The lightweight A finalists will be making their way out on track in just a moment, all things going well. As we start to tick down the races, let's take a look at what the grids will be shaping up to be then in this one. Heading on to row 1, then it will be Senna Khosrowpanna, followed by Amanze Nwosu, and then we have Gillen Townsend, and then Shaylin Srikatan. Then we have Nathan Gretsch and Freya Lally completing row 1, 2 and 3. Row 4 will be Mohamed Issa Subadar, followed by Jess Kirby. It will be Jack Thompson and Sam Fleming on row 5. Then we have Hugo McMillan and Ryan Hamlet on row 6. Row 7 of our grid then will be Leo Smith and Edward Ivory, followed by Jack Mills and Jensen Goodall on row 8. Alicia Waterhouse and Jack Dowding will complete the 9th row of the grid, and then last couple of drivers now, it's with Chloe Van Beneden and Joe Fleming on row 10, and then it's Archie Beswick and Mason McKenzie rapid charging up on through from the B final earlier on to complete our 22 kart cadet super lightweight grid for our A final. Looks like we could be waiting potentially for just a moment for our drivers to head out on track, as we, as I say, get ready for one of our last few races of the, what is now evening. Should be an exciting one. Super lightweight cadet drivers, some big names in here that we do recognise from previous running, of course. The likes of Amanze Nwosu, the likes of Freya Lally, Mohamed Issa Subadar, protagonists throughout various points last season's running, of course. Senna Khosrowpanna as well, with some new drivers in the mix there as well. Both rookies from the B final actually rapid charging on through, which is interesting. So clearly I think could be having a great time out this season, all things going well.
Just bear with us 1 minute, please, as we get this cadet race out and running. Should be a second to just wait where you are, please, juniors.
and excellent drive as well. And Jack Thompson was really quick in qualifying, and Sam Fleming as well, actually, was at the top of the Pre-A final. Be interesting to see if those guys can rekindle their earlier pace.
It will indeed. Apologies if one of us dropped out there, but promise we are both here. None of us have escaped the building and decided to return back to the Green Man Inn for a cheeky cod and chips, or as you mentioned, a mixed grill. I must have to give that a try then tonight. Clearly, if it seemed to be a bit of a favourite at the table last night.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I'm wondering whether or not to diversify, but I always say with a mixed grill, you never have one at home, do you?
No.
You can have cod and chips at home. You can have pie and mash at home. No one's ever going to the supermarket and be like, right, I'll get a gammon steak, a normal steak, some chicken, a sausage. You can't buy a sausage, you have to buy a. And, you just that's why when I go out, that's where I tend towards. It's obviously a great meal as well in itself, but yeah, I do like to try when I go out for food to have something that I wouldn't have at home.
Yeah.
Whether that's something like a mixed grill or just a dish that I would have no idea how to cook or nowhere near the patience to cook.
You can always tell when commentators get hungry, because so often especially when there's moments that we might need to fill in on some action, that we always delve into food chat. Usually in BKC it's about Jaffa cakes.
Oh, you can tell I'm hungry because my eyes are open. That's just the way I live. That's why I put on so much weight and why I'm having to lose some, as mentioned earlier. So, yeah, not ideal.
This is why I suspect we're having a little bit of a pause. We've got some officials, marshals out on track, just looking after the track. I think because so much of the rain that we've had at the start of this year, the ground hasn't really had a chance to dry out all that much so far this year. So the grass is really soggy, it's really damp, which means that as drivers head off the circuit for a little bit of a skirmish, it's quite easy to tear up and bring back onto the track with them because it isn't very solid.
I am wondering what's going on in the pit, though, Reeve, because the junior drivers are still sat in their carts.
Oh.
Which is unusual, to say the least, because the cadets are the ones going out.
Yeah.
You can confirm that. They're the ones you can see on the left-hand side.
We have just heard the whistle to hear engines starting, yeah.
Yeah. Perhaps they're waiting for the cadets to go out before releasing the juniors, so they're not kind of hanging around.
So there is just chaos.
Yeah, but you can see there in the middle of the shot and the right-hand side of the pit lane, a load of junior drivers sat around just waiting. Yeah, here we go. Some of the cadet drivers are getting up and underway, and we'll be racing soon.
Just a quick reminder then for some of the protagonists in this race. Front row of the grid is going to be Senna Khosrow-Pana, Amanzi Nwosu, Gillen Chowton, and then Shaylin Skri-Kantan, Nathan Gretsch, Freya Lally, Mohamed Subadajos, Kirby, Jack Thompson, Sam Fleming, Hugo McMillan, Ryan Hamlet, Leo Smith, Edward Sivery, Jack Mills, Jensen Goodall, Alicia Waterhouse, Jack Dowding, Chloe Van Menaden, Joe Fleming, Archie Beswick, and Mason McKenzie recharging up on through. They're making their way out on track now, and hopefully shortly we'll be good to go racing.
Yeah, looking forward to these sets of A finals. 4 races left for you today. A finals are the peak of the day's racing. It's what every driver aspires to get into. We have got 4 classes: cadet super lightweights, cadets lightweights, junior super lightweights, and junior lightweights to come. This is cadet super lightweights, the first of our 4. We'll be following this up with our junior category lightweights, then cadet lightweights, then junior super lightweights to finish. And yes, I do believe that we will see some excellent racing across the 4 of them. Last race didn't necessarily deliver. There's a lot of promise before the full course yellow. The race before that was certainly an exciting one, and I think we've got a couple more in us today, Reeve. As the last of our drivers comes around, I think we'll be getting going once we're around the last couple of corners behind the pace car.
Well, indeed, this is going to be the final time that we see cadet super lightweight running today in this A final. Last time that we see some big names, some pretty well-known names in the cadet running at this point. As we can see, just making sure that the pace is controlled well before we get racing.
Round museum we come then. Museum corner because it's right next to the big old Silverstone Museum. And on to the start, finish straight we come then. Number 12 of Senna Kozrapana leads us away. The number 39 of Gillen Townsend is behind him. There's just about enough room for everyone coming round the first corner, and indeed the second, as we head up towards Brooklands for the first time. Senna Kozrapana holds that lead with Gillen Townsend looking likely to be coming out in second, but he's side by side with who's that in the Senna helmet, Reeve? Causing a little bit of confusion. Either way, they've both dropped back now, and that in second place, I can't quite make out the number, but I want to say it's Mohamed Issa Subadar. And someone's round, Reeve.
Oh.
Someone is round. Just the one cart. That's disappointment for them. But it is indeed the 25 Mohamed Issa Subadar. He's made his way up to second from fifth on the grid. Then we've got the 39 of Gillen Townsend.
Ooh,
and another cart round
going round.
on the exit. Yeah, not ideal, Leo, but good to see he's got himself going again. Anyway, so yeah, great start from Mohamed Issa Subadar up into second place in this one. Senna Kozrapana still looks in control though.
Does indeed, but oh dear, we have a spin from the top end of the order.
Yeah, it looks like third or fourth place. I can't quite tell who it was before they go. No, I think it was just behind the top three. Let's have a look. Yeah, Gillen Townsend safely come around at man.
Yeah, Nathan Gretsch. It was Nathan Gretsch tumbling down the order at the moment.
Yeah, so your top five: Senna Kozrapana, Mohamed Issa Subadar, Gillen Townsend, Amanze Nwozu, and Jack Thompson has recovered his earlier pace. Jack Thompson up to fifth from ninth. Hugo McMillan with a decent start as well, up to sixth from 11th.
9 minutes left to go in this one then. A fantastic start for Issa Subadar. What a shame for Nathan Gretsch, who actually looked poised to go for a run for first early on in the race. Started fourth on the grid, which is a really good position to start from that second row because you have the inside. Fortunately, it didn't quite work out this time round. You can see it's going to be Senna Kozrapana versus Gillen Townsend now, leading us through into turn 10. A nice, comfortable running through the turn 10, not being suckered in by the curb there.
Townsend looks like he's got the pace here, and he's challenging Senna at this early stage. Can the two of them maybe work together early doors? Because right behind them there's lots of battling going on. If the front two can work together, they can escape from this battling quartet here. Mohamed Issa Subadar's had a troublesome lap. He was second last time round. I think he's going to come over the line in fifth. Indeed he does. Jack Thompson's very much in the mix now, and that's Amanze Nwozu in the Senna-like helmet being taken up the inside by Jack Thompson. So Jack Thompson, who, remember Reeve, pretty sure he started on pole, or at least the front row of the pre-A final. Didn't have the best of starts, has now made his way up to third in the A final, and will be thinking, how do we chase after those front two, who are now 2 seconds up the road. He's got challenge from Amanze Nwozu around the outside of bridge, holds on to third place for now. Good driving from these guys, but they need to start working together if they want one of those top two spots.
Absolutely, plenty of other big moves in the order actually. Edward Sybry moving up 7 positions so far in this race, and Leo Smith obviously moved the wrong way down the order, but is actually setting fastest laps of the session so far. So a case of what could have been, I think, in this race. Yeah,
fair play to Leo to carrying on and setting absolutely great lap times as well. We've had a HOSW again for Jack Dowding. That's a hands-off steering wheel. It's not completely illegal to, give yourself a little scratch or something like that, but you can't be remonstrating with officials and other drivers in ways which can be considered offensive. That's a new rule to Club 100 this year. As challenged down towards the first corner, Jack Thompson's not got as good a drive as Amanze Nwozu. Nwozu's on the outside. Gillen Townsend gets the fastest lap in that one. He's keeping Senna Kozrapana very honest at the front of this one, as much as I'm sure Jack Thompson, Amanze Nwozu and Mohamed Issa Subadar want to catch up. Unfortunately, the pace at the front is just really, really good at the minute, Reeve. They are setting lap times that are consistently quicker than the four behind them, as much as they work together or not.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 minutes left on our clock then, and Townsend, as you say, flying along for the moment. The might be. Well, it looks like they are kind of working together at the moment. They're not going out and out side by side looking for vying for moves down the inside here or there. And it does mean that they're able to control things quite nicely at the top end of the pack. As you can see.
It's a slightly defensive line
Yeah.
from Senna, do we think?
Possibly, if it feels like maybe all of a sudden we could be on for a bit of a squabble here.
It's
Let's see,
definitely
then
looks
is
over the shoulder.
Yeah. And Townsend immediately has a look around the outside there, decides to swap it around and do a bit of a trick move potentially as we run through the farm curve. Nose out in front for Townsend. It's going to be a drag race across the line. Senna Kozrapana still leads us, but has the outside for turn one coming up next. So it's Gillen Townsend who now takes the lead of this race, at least for the time being. There's also plenty of close running just behind them, but all of the action really is happening here at the front end of the pack, folks. As now Senna Kozrapana is going to try and fight for this one back. Has the look around the outside as we approach Maggott and Beckett. And we're going to go side by side through Maggott and Beckett. We are indeed looking over the shoulder. Is Gillen Townsend says, come on, let's work together. Bridge comes next. Nice bit of rotation from Senna Kozrapana, who gets the cart in the corner quickly. And it's Senna Kozrapana back in the lead of this race.
Really impressive driving from these two guys to go through Maggott and Beckett's side by side as they did. I think the frustration from Townsend's side was, like you said, not working together to build up a bit of a gap. But to be fair to Senna Kozrapana, if you see the opportunity to take the lead back, you're going to take it. The pace that they've both got is good enough, I think, to pull away from the four behind them, as we mentioned just a couple of moments ago. So you'd rather be in front and not have to make the pass in the last couple of minutes if you're Senna Kozrapana. And yeah, back in front. Let's see if you can hold it for the remaining 4.5 minutes of the race.
Should be an exciting one. Well done to all the drivers so far for putting on a show for us and becoming acclimatised to this new venue, seemingly having a great time out. Jess Kirby crosses the line in the meanwhile and sets the new record for our cadet super lightweight runners of a 1:17.386. So that's a really nice time there. But meanwhile, front ends of the pack, no change in the order so far as we look on to the run towards Brooklands. There is the number 28 of Manzi Nwosu under a little bit of pressure now from Jack Thompson. Jack Thompson, obviously we mentioned, starting this race perhaps not where we would have wanted to, but was very much making amends for it now and fighting against Manzi Nwosu. But as we well know, that is some fierce competition. Yeah,
Nwosu's gained that place back in the last couple of laps, possibly on the last lap. We were following these two at the front. I think Jack and Amanze will know that any race win is contingent on them not squabbling too heavily there, and they can probably just about see these two having a little bit of a scrap further ahead. Like I said, the pace is so good between these front two. And speaking of good, Gillen Townsend up the inside, but they're going to be side by side coming over the start-finish line. Senna Kozrapana is going to have the advantage once more. It's 3 minutes left. I think it'll be this lap plus 2 more at the very least. So it's getting to the business end of the race for even Townsend.
Wow.
Good cut back. Can get up the inside here of Brooklands. Yes, he can.
We don't usually see that move being done through turn 2 there, hanging it around the outside. It was brave stuff, and it looks like it could well have worked here. We do know that Gillen's on a bit of a run at the moment. New fastest lap, personal best at least, for Gillen on that last lap. So clearly has the pace to try and do this. Gets a better run out of Bridge as well, just by the looks of things there. Plenty of opportunities to fight back for it though. Just behind as well, we're going to see coming to shot in a moment, is Amanda Nwosu and Jack Thompson. They're continuing their own battle. We seem to have another battling duo behind those as well. But over the shoulder looks Gillen Townsend as they run on through to turn 12 in just a moment, followed by the complex start with Seagrave to end the lap here.
Great driving from all these top.
Oh, wow!
That's
Saw
a lunge.
A moment and went for it.
That's a lunge, and I mean, I wouldn't want to be the observer on there because it was quite forceful, a lunge. But for me, I think they were side by side at the point of contact, and that's usually deemed as fair. We'll keep an eye out for any contact warnings or penalties, and Gillen Townsend might think that was a bit aggressive, but the place belongs once again to Senna Kozrapana. This will be the penultimate lap, Reeve. We'll see the last lap board as we come round again. There's only going to be a couple of opportunities, and that gap is shortening between third and second. There was a second and a half taken out of it. If that happens again this lap, there it is. Yeah. ABC bump and pass. Senna Kozrapana receives the penalty. Gillen Townsend dives up the inside of Bridge anyway. Excellent move, that, really well executed. And yeah, Senna Kozhapana feels the wrath of the stewards for that dive up the inside. I can see it both ways. I can understand why he's got the penalty. I think it was probably worthwhile going for. Maybe just didn't pan out the way he was hoping for. Either way, still been great driving, great racing from the both of them, and looks like they've managed to calm that. Maybe one of them has spotted over the shoulder Manzi Nwosu and Jack Thompson in the background, because we're coming on to the final lap here, and at any time they cost themselves now could cost them race positions to those two coming in behind.
Yeah, they will, and just past the digi-flag there, so perhaps first knowledge of that penalty appearing to those drivers too. Shailen Srikantan, meanwhile, sets a new fastest lap into the 16s now, but we're going to look at the front end of the action here, as I'm sure, despite the penalty, you still want to fight for first, because that just negates some of the effect of that penalty. So looks over the shoulder, does Gillen Townsend. Senna Kozhapana trying to find a way on through, doesn't want to do anything too bold just yet as we run through Maggott and Beckett's. Bridge comes up next. Has been an overtaking opportunity so far today. Runs a little bit wider through, but might cut back quite nicely. It becomes a drag race, and Gillen Townsend still has control of things.
Yeah, going on down to Priory, it's a right hand. You can see them going. Oh, there's a little bit of contact there as Townsend breaks quite early for the corner, and he's backed him right up into Manzi Nwosu now. This is dangerous for Townsend, because Nwosu is going to fancy a race win here. They're coming down into Seagraves for the last time. Round the outside goes Senna Kozhapana.
Oh,
what's going to happen here?
Senna.
Oh, up the inside, and there's Nwosu. He's going to take the lead. He's in the inside for the very final corner. But look at Jack Thompson. Oh, my word.
Oh, with 3 wide still as we navigate the final corner.
Townsend's coming back. Townsend's back. Yeah, Senna Kozhapana's off. Townsend's going to take the win. Jack Thompson second. Nwosu holds his head in his hands because Jess Kirby has stolen third. Nwosu thought he'd won it 2 corners ago. What a finish to that race. Unfortunately, Senna Kozhapana's ended up on the grass, which is really unfortunate for him. Barring the penalty, it was a really great race from him, and he certainly doesn't deserve that from the race day he's had so far today. Great result, though, for Gillen Townsend. Take nothing away, he's been fantastic today, and that race really was great. Jack Thompson gets right back up in there, having qualified brilliantly earlier. Jess Kirby, I'm sure, will be delighted to pick up third, pretty much on the line there. And Manzi Nwosu, devastated for him. Like I said, he probably thought he had it won in the penultimate corner, so unlucky to see him down in fourth. Shailen Srikantan ends the day with the fastest lap in the A final, so that's great for him. Hugo McMillan, 6th. Edward Siberi, 7th. Mohammadi Subudar, 8th. Freda Lally is 9th, and Sam Fleming, 10th.